This podcast was originally live-streamed on the NonSequitur show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/NonSequitur show. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsecshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow or Facebook.com/NonSecShow. That's NONSEQ show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of NonSequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/NonSequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non-Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McRae.
You talking to me? Yeah, you. You talking to me?
I know what it's from.
If you know where that's from, you're one step ahead of Steve. Steve doesn't know where that's from.
Yeah, I do know
Who
where
said
it's
that?
from. I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
Who?
Who said that? That was from. Oh, you want me to give the answer?
Yeah.
That was from Taxi, Robert De Niro.
Good job. Good job. So, sorry, guys, you're not one ahead of Steve today. You're not one ahead of Steve. Welcome back to the show. Actually, following last night's talk on reparations, we had three people on one side and three people on the opposing side. The Democratic candidates are being at. There was a piece in the New York Times that came out about should the U.S. pay reparations, and we had what I thought was an amazing talk on it last night. Steve, wouldn't you agree that went well?
Yeah, that was exceptionally well done. That had the potential to go south really fast, and yet it went north quite quickly, and it was really interesting to listen to. I think everybody added a lot to that conversation.
Absolutely. And today I was actually watching some Jesse Lee Peterson. Amazing. And he had a lady that runs a website called reparations.me. And what this website does is people can go and post like things that they need, and then there are people who can get those things for them to send them. So it's kind of like like that. So I emailed her to see about her coming on to talk about what her website's about. I thought that would be interesting. So hopefully she'll get back to me soon. But yeah, I thought it was great. Let's say hello to our guest real quick, and then I'll jump into some announcements, and then we will start tonight's discussion. Let's say hello to Jackson Wheat. Is this your first time on the show or second?
Technically, it's my second. I was on very briefly, and the questions for theists.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, welcome to your official first full length episode. It's good to have you.
All right.
And we are also returning. Yes.
Real quick, I boo-booed. They are right. It wasn't Robert De Niro who said I'm walking. It was Dustin Hoffman. I knew it was a different movie. It was Midnight Cowboy, but it wasn't Robert De Niro. But I was right about Taxi Driver. That was Robert De Niro's
right
thing. You talking to me in the mirror. So I was wrong about. I was half right and half wrong. There you go. The way it should be.
Yeah, Dustin, which cancels each other out, Steve. So
that's some zero. Yes.
Back to nothing. And also joining us for the second time, he is back after the first episode. He was in a debate with Tony Reed, and we were talking evolution. The former mayoral candidate from Durham, North Carolina, and Pastor Sylvester Williams. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Steve asked Pastor Williams before we came on if he was ready to renounce young earth creation and come to the dark side. And what was your response to Steve, Pastor Williams?
My response is that I'm glad to give information, because what I realize is that as a country, which every country does, they indoctrinate the people to believe a certain way. And the only way you can come to the truth is by researching the truth and not accepting what has been told you. This is what happened in Germany. This is happened in the United States of America. This is what happened in any country you can name. That's what they do. That's what allows a country to survive. There's one thing that Donald Trump calls fake news, is the thing of just indoctrinating people to believe a certain thing, whether it's the truth or not. And hopefully tonight I can show to you that the Word of God, the Bible, is true, and that what evolution truly is, and it's not what we've made it out to be.
Excellent. I look forward to hearing that. On March the 4th, we are going to be joined by, many of you remember, about a month ago, we were supposed to have Dr. Grady McMurdy, who is also a young earth creationist. He is, as Steve would say, quite the firebrand. Very, 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 I like to say sassy. Kind of like, think Kent Hovind with a lot of sass. He will be with us, and Aaron Ra will be joining us with that discussion as well. So that's going to be on Monday. Make sure that you are here for that. You do not want to miss that. After the show, I will be in Discord in the Patreon channel. If you are a Patreon of the channel, you can join me in the voice chat channel on Discord. If you are not a member of the Discord or a member of the Patreon, you can do both. The Discord is nonsec.show.com/Discord. And we are on Patreon at patreon.com/NonSequitur. We'll also be having a private hangout on Saturday with Steve, me, and Dave at 4 p.m. So make sure that you're there for that as well. But yeah, join me in the voice chat on Discord after this show. Okay, Steve, do you want to introduce what we're going to be talking about tonight, and we will jump right into it?
Yeah, so, we had Pastor Williams on before, and during that discussion where he was on, I don't think we got a chance to really suss out a lot of stuff. So he's nice enough to come back in, and maybe between him, Jackson Wheat, Kyle, Dave, and myself, we can kind of dive into some of the things that he was kind of saying by fiat last time. Now, obviously, he's not a fan of evolution, We get that. I think he thinks this one kind of conspiratorial theory that pretty much every scientist in the world agrees with, but what do they know? So I was kind of hoping that maybe we could just have a free-for-all. This is not a debate between Sylvester and Jackson. This is not even just a one-on-one discussion. This is a free-for-all that we're all going to be joining in. But I really kind of wanted to talk to Pastor Williams on his reasoning by which he thinks evolution is something that is not the case, as opposed to be something that is factual. And I know I think he's an honest person. I think he does want to believe things which are true, and I think he wants to get to the truth of the matter. So I don't think he's a dishonest interlocutor in that regard. But obviously we have some differences on what we fundamentally accept as what is true. Now, he obviously thinks that evolution is not. So maybe Pastor Williams, kind of give us in a brief synopsis what you think factually is the reason why evolution isn't true, and then maybe we can kind of suss out and guide it to maybe explain to you and the audience the misconceptions that we think that you possibly could have with evolution. Is that cool?
Cool. The reason why I think evolution is not true is you look at the genesis, and anytime, but I'll look at anything, I look at the foundation. How did it start? When did it start? Because the way that it started has a lot to do with the truth that's embedded in it. And we know that the theory of evolution started during periods of slavery in this country and around the world. And I have some excerpts here that I can show you just how racist the theory of evolution started, to show you again too how it continues with where we are now. I was disturbed when I turned to a section on evolution, saw drawings of early man. The textbook drawing which depict our supposed immediate ancestors, such as Homo erectus and Homo habilis, typically have pronounced Negroid race characteristics, including dark skin, kinky hair, and Negroid facial features. Modern man, Homo sapiens, though, is often pictured as having light skin, straight hair, a flat forehead, a narrow nose, and small lips. There is also a picture of an upright walking monkey that is supposedly a precursor to modern man called Lucy from Ethiopia. The racism does not stop there. The title of Darwin's book,
let's take one claim at a time, because this is the problem we had last time. You said something and then you kind of kept jumping. So can we just address some of the things you've said so far? Is that okay?
Yes. Okay.
So I'm going to ask Jackson about this a little bit. Now, first of all, this idea, this before we get into the racial issues, because I'm willing to grant arguendo. Let's say it's completely racist. Let's say it's the most racist theory in the world. That doesn't matter to the facts. It's completely irrelevant. Now, I completely disagree with you. As a matter of fact, Darwin was an abolitionist. He was against slavery. He was against racism. But that's neither here nor there. But Lucy, let's talk about Lucy for a second.
Now,
Jackson.
Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. And that's where we are misinformed. You cannot say that you are against slavery and other things. You're calling black folks savages, and that's the point that I was trying to make earlier.
He wasn't calling them savages because they were black, though.
Yeah, that's
he wasn't calling them savages because they were black any more than he was calling any other race savages because of their certain color. In fact, if you actually
I can finish.
He was educated by a black man at one point, right?
Hang on, let's clarify. The book you're talking. Hang on, Sylvester. Hang on. The book you're referring to is called Descent of Man. He refers to less civilized races as savage races, which, in a lot of times in the British Empire, anybody that wasn't considered to be a tea drinker and had drank like this was considered to be uncouth and uncivilized. He was not talking about black people as being a race of inferior people. He was talking about the less civilized portions of the world. Correct, Jackson?
Yeah, I have a question. Mr. Williams, have you read Descent of Man, if that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, this is where I got the quote from. Yes, this is where I got the quote.
This is good because I've also read it. So I'm glad we can have this discussion on it. So you're aware then that in their day, the model of archaeology they had was linear. So in their day, they thought that societies proceeded from, the savage, which didn't necessarily correlate to race because there were lots of different people who were called savages. Then they developed, tools and architecture and all this, and then literature and blah, blah, blah. And then they eventually made it up to America, England, whatever.